Hello, this is part 2, and if you remember we are building towards this rather folksy traditional canal style painting of poppies and wild roses. So in this part we're going to do the blue and the green. Remember we're using acrylics and a fat brush and a thin brush. Okay, and I've already done the layers of yellow and red with the start of the little delicate edges to the wild roses. So I'm going to just get some blue out now. Let's put that down. I'm just going to give myself a little bit more blue. So there we go. I'm going to use a thin brush to start with, and as ever I want quite a bit of water with it because I want it to be flowing, fluid. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the edges of each of these flowers to give myself an easy space to fill in with the bigger brush. So if I go around more carefully with this thinner brush like that. Lots of reloading. Painting is often about how much you get on your brush. You don't want a great kind of glob on the end, but you also don't want too little because it will come out kind of scratchy. And I think part of painting is working out how much you have on the end of your brush, how much water and how much paint. Okay, so I'm going to go around all of my flowers with a thin brush like that, and then with the fatter brush, again a bit mix of water, I'm going to just fill in these spaces. See, it's nice and easy once you've got the edges done. Now you might want a couple of layers of this blue. That means you'll need to let it dry and then do it again. So you get a really nice solid blue. That's going to make the reds and the whites really stand out because the contrast will be fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go around like that around all of them. I'm going to do a little bit more to the wild roses just now. Okay, so that's, imagine you do that throughout. Now these roses, they have 5 petals, so I'm going to draw the outline in blue. So 5, if you just think of 5 from the middle, so that's 1, so slightly bigger than a quarter, no, slightly smaller than a quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, so smaller, slightly smaller than a quarter. 4, okay. And then I know that I'm going to come in where my little quarters are. Okay, so we're definitely with a thin brush this time and not very much, quite watery paint. I'm just going to, so not very much paint. Just going to do a little delicate edge like that, where I've got okay, and in there. So that can kind of come right down like that because these petals are actually quite separate. So this one, this little edge in there, coming right down, and there. There. So it's like a deep V going in with the blue. Okay, another one there. And then also, each petal also has a little dip right in the middle. So not a deep V, just a little kind of dip like that. Now we will be able to tidy these up a bit at the end with chalks, so don't worry if they're not kind of all perfect at the moment. Okay, so imagine you've done all of that, deeper ones and then just a little dip. Okay, can you see that? It's starting to look a little bit like roses now, aren't they? Okay, and then after that, we're going to do some of the greens. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Here's one I've worked on a bit already. Now the green stems, these have some green paint and then they have some green chalk over the top. So, but it's just working out how I'm going to swirl them kind of up and down through my flowers so it looks like it's all part of the same painting. The green kind of pulls it all together. Okay, now to make my green, I mix my green with the colours I've already got. It's important to use just a mix of 3 colours when you're doing a painting like this. To sort of start bringing in, say, a bit of ready mixed green, I think wouldn't work so well as if you actually mix your own, because if you're using the colours already in your painting, it's going to limit the colours, and that's always a good thing. So even though we're using lots of bright colours, we're still limiting them to some extent. Okay, so I've just mixed my bit of white with a little bit of blue to create that green there, which is lovely. Okay, that's perfect. Right, so just a bit of water with that. So I've got a nice sort of user-friendly fluid. Okay, now I'm just thinking about where I'm going to put my kind of curly branch, curly stem. I think I'm going to bring it, I don't want it to go over the top of each flower, but I want it to maybe overlap a tiny bit. So I could, if you go over with your finger first and work out where's one's going to be. So if I have, say, 3, so 1 here, just nipping the edges of that. And if you do it in one big stroke, it's going to have a really nice curve to it rather than doing a bit at a time. So there's 1. Might have another one through the middle here. So again, so I'm doing it with my finger first. So I'm going to come down and around there. So lots of paint on, so I've got enough for the whole streak down, the whole stem. Okay, so 1 and down there. So I'm going to nudge the edge of that. Okay, I might need to do another coat of that green. Right, I'm going to have a little final one, maybe coming around the edge of there, right around that, like that. So that's going to do that. Nice big curvy one. I think that's probably fine. Okay, now I'm going to put some small leaves on. So this is the first layer of colour. We will be going over the top of this with some chalks. So don't worry if it doesn't look that strong yet. So my leaves are just sort of 2 strokes of the brush. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. Just do your leaves where you've kind of got a bit of a little space. There's a nice space there, so I can do quite a big leaf in there. Maybe a little space there, like over the top of my flower there. Okay, and like I said, I'll probably do a couple of layers of these leaves. Might put another one in there. Okay, so we're building slowly towards our final one. Okay, that's the end of part 2. I'll see you in part 3. Okay, bye-bye.